Welcome to Let the Quran Speak. We are looking at misunderstood Quranic verses, and now we are looking at chapter 11, verse 12, Dr. Shabir. And this verse goes like this. It is a message to the Prophet Muhammad, it seems. And the translation is from Maududi. It says, "Let it not happen that you omit to expound a portion of what was revealed to you. And do not be distressed that they will say, why was a treasure not bestowed upon him? Or why did no angel accompany him? For you are merely a warner, whereas Allah has control over everything."
Yes, so Maududi has here paraphrased it a little bit, but he captures the essence of what the verse says. So to read it in Arabic, فَلَعَلَّكَ تَارِكٌ بَعْدَ مَا يُوحَى إِلَيْكَ وَضَائِقٌ بِهِ صَدْرُكَ أَنْ يَقُولُوا لَوْلَا أُنزِلَ عَلَيْهِ كَنْزٌ أَوْ جَاءَ مَعَهُ مَلَكٌ إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ نَذِيرٌ وَاللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ وَكِيلٌ. Perhaps, if I'm to go literally, perhaps you may leave off some or you may neglect some of what has been revealed to you because of their saying, why doesn't a treasure come down from heaven with him, or why doesn't an angel accompany him? The answer to that is you are only a warner, and God is the supervisor of all affairs. What is this verse saying, and why is it relevant for us to discuss it? It's not so much that it's been misunderstood, but more that it's been overlooked.
Okay.
In that, there developed among Muslims the idea that some verses of the Quran have been abrogated. And there are three basic ways in which the classical Muslim scholars said that verses of the Quran might be abrogated. So it's more like repeal or superseding.
Okay.
So you have one law given and then another law superseding the previous one, or maybe basically abrogating the previous one, making the previous one obsolete, and the new law comes to be in place. So this was thought of by Muslim scholars. They thought that there might be a law which is mentioned in the Quran, and the verse is there in the Quran, but the law is no longer applicable. So that means the law is abrogated, but the reading of the verse is not abrogated. The reading of the verse still maintains. They're part of our Quran. And then there are verses which were once in the Quran, and not necessarily in the written text, but as revealed to the Prophet, peace be upon him, known to the Muslim community as part of the Quran, even if in an oral form, but that's no longer to be part of the Quran. That recitation itself is abrogated. And then that branches off into two possibilities. One is that both the recitation of the words and the applicability of its rulings, whatever ruling might have been inferred from those words, both are abrogated. And the other scenario is that the words have been abrogated, but not its ruling. So that means that we're no longer going to recite that supposed verse as part of the Quran, but whatever ruling it contained still remains valid among Muslims. So there you have the three possibilities.
So how does this relate to the verse in question?
Well, the possibilities that say that the words are no longer there. I have an objection to all of these possibilities. I mean, even the one that says that the verse is still there in the Quran, but you no longer apply it. To me, this is appalling, because it means God revealed the verse to us as telling us, and we're reading it, God is telling us again and again, every time we read the Quran, God is telling us to do something, as an example, but we're saying, no, this has been abrogated. So the information for that has to be very firm. Just as it is firm that God revealed this message to us, we should have a firm piece of information that says that this or that ruling is no longer applicable, but we don't have any such firm information. This is something that the Muslim scholars arrived at as a way of making sense of what they thought to be tension in various verses of the Quran, or tension between what is a known practice and what is mentioned in the Quran. So they say this has been abrogated. But that's a minor objection, because we still have, in terms of my present discussion, because in this case, we still have the verse of the Quran in the Quran. There are supposed verses which were once part of the Quran, but no longer to be in our written Qurans, no longer recited in our prayers as though they're part of the Quran, no longer as an act of devotion recited as though this is part of the Quran. It's just known to us as in our history books that this was once recited. To me, that runs contrary to the present verse that we're discussing, because the verse is saying to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, فَلَعَلَّكَ تَارِكٌ بَعْدَ مَا يُوحَى إِلَيْكَ. Perhaps you're going to leave off some of what has been revealed to you. And as Maududi captures it in his paraphrase, be on guard that you do not leave off some of what has been revealed to you. Now, those who want to insist on the abrogation theory might say, well, okay, here the Prophet, peace be upon him, was warned not to leave it off by reason that the objectors are objecting and saying, why doesn't the treasure come along with him from heaven? Or why doesn't an angel accompany him? So he doesn't have the leverage to leave off any verse of the Quran due to the objection of the enemies, but God might direct him to leave off some of the verses. But my answer to that is twofold. First of all, we don't have any clear information that says that God told the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to leave off this or that verse, or even that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, himself told us to leave off that or that verse, to leave it out of the Quran. This particular verse is giving us the impression that once God has revealed verses to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he dare not leave it off. This is something so firm, fixed, this is here forever. So that counts against the theory of abrogation, and to me, this is a very important verse to pay attention to.
All right. Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Shabir.
You're welcome.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Muslim Media Hub, the new home of Let the Quran Speak.
Here we spread positivity and good. We help people experience the beauty of Islam and help them appreciate and understand Muslims.
This beautiful building we purchased at cost $2.3 million.
Yeah, we've already raised a third of that money, and with your help, inshallah, we can pay off the rest.
So we're looking for people who can give $1,000 each. If you can be part of the select group, that's amazing.
Otherwise, just please give whatever you can. Every dollar counts.
It's our collective responsibility to share the message of Islam with our fellow human beings. Please help us continue this good work.
It's a sadaqah jariyah, something that will continue to be a benefit to the Muslim community long after Safiya and I are gone.
Please support our work at muslimmediahub.com.
Your support is zakat eligible and tax deductible.
May Allah bless you and your loved ones today and always. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.